Hi guys, I call myself and commentators and people who follow what's going on at the moment in Parliament, Brexit and elections, political junkies. We like to view the whole thing as a massive game where tactics and strategy rule, where politicians are scrutinised on every word that drops from their lips. We also critically analyse policies demanding that we know how they're paid for and if they'll work. We are not your average voter. This is your average voter.
You won in the casino, didn't you?
I have, yes.
How much did you win?
£80.
£80, right. Okay, well, you're celebrating in a second, but did you watch the debate last night?
No.
You didn't?
No.
Out of the two leaders, though, who do you prefer? Or do you like Mr. David?
I don't know who the two leaders are.
We're talking about Mr. Starmer and Mr. Sunak.
Starmer.
Starmer?
Yes.
Why do you like Keir Starmer?
I'm not, I didn't watch it, so I can't
No,
really...
that's fine. But are you going to vote Labour or
I am going to vote Labour.
Okay, I'm going to vote Labour. Now, let me start off by saying this is not a criticism of this lady, okay? She's not interested in politics. She's not interested in who the leaders are, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, we all have our strange interests. Mine is politics. Hers is not. Now, and once again, this is not a criticism. This is very important to understand. While we are interested, okay, what is this policy? How is it going to be implemented? How much is it going to cost? What are you going to do in order to implement this policy? Are you going to be able to get it through Parliament? All of this back and forth, we're really interested in this. The average voter, the average person on the street doesn't care. Now, we can argue whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but the Labour Party know going into the election, all they have to say is we're not the Tories. And this is the average voter. This person doesn't know who the leader is, just knows she's going to vote Labour because the alternative is the Conservatives. Who's in power at the moment? I think it's the Conservatives. Yes. Are things going well? No, they're not, because ordinary people can see how things are going and they're not going well. So the response is, well, I'm going to vote against that. I keep saying this. And you hear politicians saying, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And, you know, the Conservatives will say, no, don't vote for Labour because they're going to do X, Y, and Z, or they're not going to do X, Y, and Z. It doesn't matter. It's always a vote. The election is always a referendum on the incumbent. So they're going to, ordinary voters are going to decide, have things improved over the last number of years? Have things improved since 2010 or since 2015 or since Boris Johnson was in charge? Since Boris Johnson won his majority, have things improved? No, they've actually gone really downhill, really down into the toilet. So I'm going to vote for the opposite party. And that's all Labour need for the vast majority of people. So you'll hear commentators criticise the Conservatives, criticise the Labour Party, criticise Greens, criticise SNP, whoever. But the average person on the street is not interested in politics, as you can see here. They will vote because they know it's an election time, so they'll go out and vote, but generally they'll vote either for the incumbent or against the incumbent. And if they're in a constituency where most people vote Labour, well, they're going to vote for Labour. If they're in a constituency where they think there's a better chance of getting rid of the Tories by voting Reform, then they'll vote Reform. They don't actually have to know about Boris Johnson, Liz Truss, Rishi Sunak on the Conservative side, or Keir Starmer, Jeremy Corbyn, or anyone else. They just know, I'm going to vote for this party or that party. I'm going to vote for the incumbent or against the incumbent.